and black box testing. So the first one that we are going to do is the white box testing. Let's understand white box testing. What does it mean? So white box testing, first of all, why the name is suggested as white box. Clearly understand from this picture that this particular person can see through this glass, and this is to be considered as a application, right, in which you can clearly see and view the code. From the code you can find the errors, right? So that is why we are saying that whenever we are testing the internal structure, design, code of an application, then that particular testing is called as white box testing, right? So white box testing, because you can see through it, right? See through the application, you can see, you can easily determine the internal structure, design and coding of this particular application, and then you can test it internally. So whenever this particular testing is done, that is called as the white box testing. Now, white box testing is also known as clear box testing, open box testing, glass box testing, transparent box testing, code-based testing, and structural testing, right? So as all the names suggest, what they suggest, one thing: clear box, open box, glass box. That means there is transparency and you can see the code and you can check the code for the errors, and this is code-based, right? And it is going to show you the clear structure of the application. So that is why this is called as white box testing. And please make sure you remember all the different names of white box testing that will again come in the MCQ based questions, right? Moving towards white box testing further. White box testing method is a method in which you can derive test cases. What type of test cases you can derive? You can have, or you can guarantee, executing all independent paths within a module at least once. That means you have to make sure that you have executed the all independent paths in a module at least once. Then it is going to derive the test cases for all the logical decisions, right? Whether it's true or whether it's false. Execute all the loops at the boundaries, whether it is for loop, while loop, do while loop. All these loop boundaries are to be executed, and test cases are generated based on these particular loops, logical decisions, and independent paths. And you can exercise the internal data structures which can ensure the validity of the application, right? So basically what you can see here, all these particular terms: logical decision, example if then else; all loops, example for loop, while loop, do while loop; switch cases, all these are considered within a code only, right? You are finding out the errors in a code. So that is why it is called as the code-based testing. What you are doing, you are going to test the code, you are going to test the internal structure of the application. So that is what white box testing is defined, right? Moving towards the next point, that is why and when this particular white box testing is done. So when I answer this particular question, why and when, first thing is we have to test, this particular testing is to be done because we need to check the complete code for the errors. And as we have learned about the different levels of testing, that is unit testing is done first, then integration, then system, and then acceptance. So at the very first stage, that is termed to be as unit testing, white box testing plays a major role because you are going to test the unit. That means you are going to test the module, and what you are going to test in the module, you are going to test the code, whether your code is working properly or not, right? So that particular is the white box testing. It is going to detect for the logical errors in the program code. It is used for debugging a code. It can find random typographical errors, uncovering incorrect programming assumptions. It is done at when it is done. Now this question is defined here. When it is done? It is done at the low level design. And we all know what is the low level design. Low level design is the unit testing, right? That means we are going to test the units. We are going to test the modules. So in unit testing, mainly white box testing is done. Black box testing is not done. That will be covered in the further slides. It can be applied at all levels of the system development, especially unit, system, and integration. In acceptance testing, we are not going to, find errors in the code by executing all the statements. So that is why acceptance testing is not included here. And at a higher probability, unit testing includes more of white box testing and then integration. And lastly, very few terms of testing is done in the system testing. Okay. So that defines the answer why and when white box testing is done. Now we are going to see different types of white box testing that will easily answer our question, where we have already seen that it is going to uncover the errors which are logical decisions, which are independent paths, considering all the loops in the boundaries and the internal data structure. So these are the different types of white box testing, which are statement coverage testing, decision or branch coverage testing. These are two different names but are same, and path coverage testing. So let's understand one by one how these particular testing is done and why is it done, right? Now see statement coverage testing. Statement coverage means when you have a program code, in that particular code, you have to execute all these statements at least once, right? Statement coverage involves the execution of all these statements at least once in the source code. Through statement coverage, we can identify the statements executed and where the code is not executed because of the blockage. We are also going to find out where the code is not being executed due to any blockage. The statement coverage covers only the two conditions. Now, this is the disadvantage of statement coverage testing. The problem with this statement coverage testing is what? It only executes the true conditions. It does not execute the false conditions, right? This particular is the drawback of statement coverage, right? Again, this can be considered in MCQ. Now, what is the formula for a statement coverage? Number of statements which are executed divided by total number of statements in the source code multiplied by 100. That will give you how many statements you have covered in the test cases, right? Now, let's see with an example how it is being defined. Let's say we have a code. This is a code, read A, read B. If A is greater than B, print A is greater than B, else print B is greater than A, and if. Now here you can see these particular statements are, first statement is read A, this is executed, read B is executed. We have taken two conditions. We have taken two sets. That means these are the two test cases. Two input values we have taken. In this, A is equal to 5, let's say, and B is equal to 2. So A is equal to 5 and B is equal to 2. So that means this condition is true, right? True condition is going to take place. So this will be printed. Now in this condition, how many statements will be covered? Just see here. Read A will be done. Read B will be done. If A is greater than B, this will be checked. Next statement, print A is greater than B will be covered. So how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. This should be in the next line. So 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And this will be removed. This will not be executed, right? And end if 5. So how many? We have executed 5 statements. While in the source code, we have 2 more statements. We have 7 statements. So what will be the statement coverage? Statement executed in our test case is 5. Total statements we have is 7 and multiplied by 100. This gives us the percentage of statements executed in the test coverage, right? Now, let's see the difference. In the second case, we are taking the false condition. This particular is not supported in the statement coverage. It only executes the true condition. If we support the next condition, that is set 2, this is set 2, sorry. If A is equal to 2 and B is equal to false, that means false statement should be supported, and in false statement, this will be defined. And according to this, we are going to find out the coverage of statement. So the drawback mainly is it is going to only execute the false statement, in which we are going to, these particular two statements will never be executed and will never be tested. This is the drawback. So moving forward to the decision and branch coverage testing. Now this particular decision or branch coverage testing is going to, provide a better approach for the statement coverage. जो भी हमारे statement coverage में problem थी, drawback था, वो यहाँ पे हम cover up कर लेते हैं. कैसे? क्योंकि what we are doing here, we are going to concentrate on the decision or branch, right? What is the to get 100% statement coverage, only one test case is sufficient for this pseudocode. Let's see what is the condition. We have read X, read Y. If X is greater than Y, print X is greater than Y. Now in this condition, there is no test case needed other than one test case, right? So here what we have, test case 1 is taken, X is equal to 10 and Y is equal to 5. Only one test case is generated for this, and this is enough. But what if we have false condition also? Let's take example. In this, we are going to execute two conditions. What are the two conditions? One condition we are taking, X is greater than Y, that is X is equal to 10 and Y is equal to 5. The other test case we are going to take is the false condition, that is X is equal to 2 and Y is equal to 10. Now here you can see that if we are going to execute both these conditions, then we are going to cover the 100% statement of the source code, right? Because we are covering both the test cases. But if we are not going to cover both the test cases in the decision coverage, then only true condition will be executed in the statement coverage. So what does it say? 100% decision coverage guarantees 100% statement coverage, but 100% statement coverage does not guarantee 100% decision coverage. That means अगर हमने decision coverage में 100% किया है, तो we are dead sure that statement coverage भी 100% है. But अगर statement coverage 100% है, तो it does not guarantee कि हमारा decision coverage भी 100% होगा. इस condition से statement coverage 100% for sure होगा, but statement coverage से decision coverage 100% नहीं होगा. For this, we have a formula. Decision coverage is equal to number of decision outcomes executed divided by total number of decision outcomes multiplied by 100%. So this is how we find out the percentage. Now, considering the third point or the third type of white box testing is called as the path coverage testing. Now in path coverage, now you see in the statement you have executed all these statements, you are executing the statements, you are checking for the logical errors. In the decision or branch coverage, you are working on the decision making or conditional approaches, logical approaches, and in the path coverage, you are working on the loops and independent paths. I have already told you what is independent path and cyclomatic complexity, right? So in path coverage, test cases are derived to exercise the basis set are guaranteed to execute every statement in the program at least once during the test. How? Let's say we have this particular pseudocode, a not very refined one, but I'm just taking it as an example. This is a pseudocode. This is a flow chart I have defined, that is the control flow graph, and these are the paths I have generated. Now in this, if A, F1 condition, F2 condition, if A, F3 condition, F4 condition. So this is the conditional graph, control flow graph I have generated. A, that is conditional, F1, F2 statement, then again condition, then F3 and F4. And there is also a statement flow here, right? So now let's see what independent paths means in detail. Here, how the paths will be covered. One path is, just see here or focus here, A to F1, F1 to F2, F2 to A to F3, and F3 to F4. So this is the first one. A to F1, F1 to F2, F2 to A, and this one. What is the other one? Other one is A to F2, then F2 to A to F3, F3 to F4. This is the second one. If I'm executing only, if I'm considering the test cases only for these, then other parts are remaining which are unexecuted for the test. What are those? Those are, let's say, A to F1, F1 to F2, F2 to A, and A to F4. This is the third one. And last one, there is one more. Which one is this? A to F2, F2 to A, and A to F4. Now you see, in this we have 4 independent paths. So I have to make sure path coverage ensures that all independent paths are covered in our test cases, right? We are not only considering because there are 2 conditions.